4.7 million years ago, the Earth was alive with mystery. The air was different, the land was changing, and the creatures that roamed across it were unlike anything we see today. To understand the story of humanity, we must first return to this ancient world, a world that shaped the very roots of survival. Imagine the Earth of long ago. The Pliocene epoch was in full motion, a time between 5 and 2.5 million years before the present. At 4.7 million years ago, the Earth was warmer than today, yet slowly drifting into cooler cycles. Great sheets of ice were only beginning to build in the polar regions. Rainfall shifted with the seasons, sometimes generous, sometimes scarce. Forests that once stretched endlessly began to shrink. In their place, vast grasslands spread across valleys and plains. Rivers cut through the earth, their banks crowded with life. Lakes shimmered under the hot sun, attracting countless creatures to drink from their shores. The landscape was in transition, part forest, part savanna, part desert. It was unpredictable, harsh, and yet full of opportunity. If you stood on this land, the sounds would overwhelm you. Herds of grazing animals moving like waves across the grass. The low trumpeting of ancient elephants echoing across the valley. Birds crying out from trees, warning of predators in the distance. The buzzing of insects after rain. And beneath it all, the constant wind, sweeping across the plains, bending tall grass, carrying with it the scent of life and the threat of death. Across the open land, herds dominated the scene. Primitive horses thundered across the plains, smaller than modern horses but quick and powerful, their hooves striking the ground in unison. Antelopes grazed in groups, their ears twitching at every sound, ready to flee from danger at the first sign of movement. Zebra, like animals, stood shoulder to shoulder, their striped hides blending with the grass and shadows. Towering over the plains were the ancestors of giraffes, with elongated necks reaching high into the trees for leaves, untouched by smaller grazers. Giant elephant-like creatures roamed in family herds, their tusks long and curved, their massive bodies shaping paths wherever they moved. These herds were the heartbeat of the savanna, endlessly moving, endlessly searching for food and water. Water was life, and every creature knew it. Rivers and lakes were the gathering places of the Pliocene world. At dawn, the first herds would approach, their hooves stirring dust as they moved cautiously toward the shore. The air was tense. Every animal knew the danger hidden in the water. Crocodiles, massive, patient, ancient, waited beneath the surface. An antelope bends low to drink. The water ripples. In a sudden explosion of power, a crocodile lunges, jaws snapping shut with bone, crushing force. The herd scatters, the air filled with the thunder of hooves and the cries of panic. For the crocodile, it is a victory. For the herd, it is a reminder water is necessary, but never safe. The grasslands belonged not only to grazers, but to hunters. Hidden among the tall grasses, saber-toothed cats stalked their prey. Silent, patient, deadly. Their elongated fangs were tools of terror, slicing through flesh with brutal precision. Elsewhere, hyenas prowled in packs. Unlike the scavengers we know today, these hyenas were powerful hunters, capable of bringing down even the largest animals. They ran tirelessly, working together, using strength and strategy to overcome prey. Every herd that grazed, every animal that drank, lived under the constant shadow of predators. The balance of life and death played out daily on the Pliocene savanna. Above it all, the skies were alive. Vultures circled high, scanning the ground for the weak, the dead, or the dying. Eagles dove swiftly, seizing smaller creatures in their talons. The sky was not an escape, it was another battleground, where survival belonged to those with wings, sharp eyes, and sharper claws. And among this world of giants, predators, and herds lived something new. Small groups of early humans, our distant ancestors, walked these lands. They were not the masters of the world. Not yet. They were fragile, cautious, always watching. They gathered fruits, roots, seeds, and nuts from the trees and ground. They scavenged when they could, cracking open the bones of dead animals with stones to reach the marrow inside. They had no fire. They had no weapons. Their strength was not in their bodies, but in their ability to walk upright, to move together, and to adapt. Each day began with a decision: where to find food, where to find water, where to avoid danger. Small groups moved across the land, carrying their young, scanning the horizon for threats. The tall grass could hide both safety and death. At night, they climbed trees for protection. In the darkness, predators roamed freely. The cries of saber-toothed cats echoed. The laughter of hyenas filled the air. Humans clung to one another in silence, waiting for dawn, when the land felt safer once again. Every day was survival. Every step carried risk. Every choice determined whether a group would live or vanish forever. Alone, an early human was weak, but together they were stronger. Groups kept watch. Groups shared food. Groups defended one another. Even in these earliest times, cooperation was their most powerful tool. It was the difference between life and death. It was the beginning of what would one day make humanity the dominant force on Earth. This was the world of 4.7 million years ago. A world of shifting landscapes, endless herds, lurking predators, and fragile humans learning to endure. The Earth was harsh, but it was also full of life, pushing every creature to adapt or perish. For our ancestors, it was only the beginning, the first steps in a story that would shape the destiny of the human race.